Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, I was putting in the link for everyone to join live on Twitter. So I hope you guys are having an amazing afternoon. It is Wednesday, November 25th, and we are going to be watching to see what's going on with those crazy electric car stocks. We have Tesla, XPEV, Lee, NIO, Blink as well is on the move. So let's get into it and let's look at it as well as the indexes. We did have the Dow breaking out to new highs yesterday. And for everyone, hey Dave, happy Turkey Day to you too tomorrow. If you guys are watching, you like the live stream, please hit that like button. It helps to share on YouTube so I can share with others. We might have somebody jumping in today that is a bit skeptical. I had a hater on Twitter today saying, oh, you're putting out your list and then, you're not making money with it. I said, come join me at 12:15. Let's look at it. Let's look at the stocks that were on my list. Let's look at the moves that happened, and you can decide, right? You guys know that I do this every day. Good morning, Michael. And we have it right here today. The Q's above 295, right? Above 295.60. Look at that. We're just at the point of potential breakout for the Qs. For the SPY, below 362.50. We broke below that. Some amazing trades. So we'll look at it in depth. And if you guys are interested, it is 50% off now through Monday. Any subscription will be 50% off on my website, cjanetrade.com. And it is getting a facelift. So if you come to it and it happens to be down at that moment, know that it's getting a facelift. It was going to happen yesterday. We had a bit of an issue. Hey, Kyle. Yes, we will definitely chart Google and PayPal. And we'll also look at Amazon as well. I'm looking at Amazon, and you guys know I'm looking at Apple as well. Oops. Let's put Amazon, Google, Google, PayPal, and what the other one I said? Apple. Apple's already on the list, but let's put CRM and work on there too. Big ones that just announced that they were going to buy out CRM. Let me get rid of the background because it's blocking the screen a little bit. There we go. All right, so we have the SPY. I've got it on the 45-minute chart. Let's pull it back so we can see the daily chart with it as well. And let's remove some of these so it's not so busy. I'll even turn off the moving averages. All right. So we have most of the moving averages turned off. And I want this on a daily chart, not a 45-minute. And it looks like the pivots are still on. There we go. Done. Clear. Right? So we have what looks like a W set up right here. If we can break above over here, 364.50, watch out. We will likely be heading up here. We'll likely head up to 370.60 in that potential area. I've got that red as a potential sell zone, right? We did have a nice little pullback over here, and it's continuing to the upside. This is the 45-minute chart. We have a bit of descending volume. However, it had a crazy move and surged up higher. UAL and Novavax, sure, just business. Let's look at UAL and Novavax as well. All right. So looking at the SPY, right, if we do a shorter term downward trend right here, oops, that's not what I wanted. I didn't want array. A shorter term downward trend on the short term right here. Look at that. We are about to test that. So if we could really break back above that 362.50, that was my, hey, pre-market, this looks like if it goes below here, we're going to have a potential short trade. Sure enough, a nice dollar to the downside right there. Did not come all the way back to the moving averages for a bigger move to the upside. However, we might see that this will really surge up higher. Like I said, we have this downward trend at the moment. A lot of times that happens, right? We go up. It's a little bit of an Elliott wave, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. Maybe this is the beginning of wave 1 again. I'm not an Elliott wave specialist, but just looking at it, you see that the patterns happen time and time again. And on the shorter term time frame, it looks like we might have found a bottom. Hey Asif, I was thinking of you today with Kodak, which was screaming higher today. All right, also on the Qs, we're coming up. You see, we are testing this upward trend line that was drawn back from the highs. So the high of 2nd of September to the high that we could not break of the open on November 9th, and we're testing that today. So looking for a break above this. I'm going to turn on the alert right there, add alert. We've definitely tested it a couple times today. And we've seen that every day that we came up to it, we had higher volume. High volume here. Oops, not now. High volume over here. Not so much. The next day, subsequent day. So maybe that was coming in later. So looking to see, will we have that breakout today to the upside? I also have to let you guys know I will have to leave at 12:45. I'm on the Ticker Tacker Roundtable today. So keep that in mind. All right, Tesla as well. You guys know it was November 17th, right? Over a week ago, I said, hey, this is my target, 684. All the way back here. And I said, that's my target. I'm looking for 684 to the upside for Tesla. Well, we're pretty much about halfway there. $140 up to that $200.60 move. Just over half, right? So looking for that potential continuation. It might pull back again to 536. I would add to my position. I've got this trend line right here. If it comes back and touches to this trend line, I will add to my position. I'm down to a third right now on Tesla. I don't know why I have GP here. That's old. Square was on the list for a potential long today, and it did perform once it broke out from 208. It broke out to the upside. What interview are you talking about, Asif? All right, so looking at Square, we have it breakout, right? This is a full 52-week breakout, higher volume, and it's continuing to the upside. Yesterday was a drawdown. Nice call, Kyle, yesterday on that positioning right there. Oh, Mish, yes. Yeah, she's amazing. Mish is amazing. I'm doing 2 more next week as well, and I just did one yesterday, so that one should be going up. Actually, I got to approve that. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, on cardboard in the pits down in the Chicago trading, right? How about that? Fate knocking on your door. I love that. That's how I titled it, because it was literally fate knocking on her door to give her that that new job to change your life. So sometimes things happen in life. Sometimes you get laid off. I had 2 layoffs in my life. First layoff, you know what it was? It took me away from the trading world. It took me to follow my passion of culinary school, and then real estate and aviation. And then the second layoff brought me back to the trading world once I was really ready to embrace it. So know that as things happen in life, sometimes it will also look like a struggle, but many times it's a lesson that will become clearer later. So if you're dealing with that layoff scenario, maybe it means that that job wasn't necessarily right for you, and you need to figure out your passion and see what you really love as well. No worries, Christy. Not a problem. All right, so VNet as well was on the list today. If it broke above 3050 and break down below 2850. So this has actually offered opportunities on both directions. We will see if this continues to the upside up here. So Apple as well. Had Apple on my list. Hold on 2 seconds. Let me just go over here. And I just am going to turn off that cha-ching sound so you guys don't hear the cha-chings in the background. And we are all set. Okay, let's go back to the charts. And there we go. So I do have my Fibonacci's on here as well. I'm going to delete those off. I do have my target up roughly at 143. I did personally add to my position today on Apple. Seeing that it bounced yesterday, we had a bit higher volume here, came down, and it bounced to 1250. Kept saying watch about roughly 1250, watching this trend line, and it's bounced. We are testing this upper trend line as well from here, from what looks to be a pullback and sell-off. So I will be watching. I will use 1250 as my longer term risk management. I figured, 250 to the upside of 143. That is my goal up here at 143. So I'm willing to risk 250 for almost $30, right? So I'll be willing to risk 250 on that. $2.50, I should say, per share. So seeing that, looking at it, will we have that breakout? Happy Thanksgiving to you too. So tomorrow, it's great because I am in Canada. I will look at it, Jeremy. I am in Canada and they don't celebrate US Thanksgiving up here. We celebrate it in October. So no kids at home, peace and quiet. I can study, get a lot of things done with no kids, no market. I can't wait. It is a holiday, true holiday. We are not doing turkey. And look at how it's also been really respecting this moving average. So if we can break and close above 1650, I would look at that on the, awesome, Christy. Yeah, seeing that we also have the bigger activity, maybe this is going to go to the upside. Potentially this could be heading back down. I would really watch it, and that would be my risk management, is down here. Actually, I'd move it up there to 1297 so that if it pulled back, I would really watch that trend line personally. We also have YJ as well that was on the list today. This was a gap up and it simply imploded on the day. Once it broke down from 574, came down almost to $4. Nice move to the downside there, and it seems to be slowing, seems to be setting up a little bit of a wedge, and curious if it's going to continue to the upside. Still has some room to move and pull back down, roughly $1.10. We also have Mara today. Oh, audio a bit high. Let me see. Hold on. I moved my mic. Johnny, is that better? Let me know. Mara as well. So Mara didn't have too much of a move sideways. Let's look at GBTC and see. GBTC is on watch. It's starting to come back down, but likely the same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin USD. Thank you for that heads up, Johnny. So Bitcoin is sort of having a bit of a sideways day too. You can see, much like with Apple and everything else. Oh, I turned down the volume. Is that better? Over here. I'll have to figure it out. Thank you, Johnny. I'll look into it and test it out a little bit more. All right. So with Bitcoin, now it's starting to pull back a little bit over here. So look, we've got that M set up, and this could potentially drop down further. However, people might start buying over here, right? Where was the buy point? Really back here. So look, maybe 18,620 over here. And if we look at GBTC, let's look and see where GBTC is also bouncing as well, or where it has bounced in the back. Oh, helps when you type it correctly. All right, so GBTC, it bounced off of the 50. So maybe this is going to come back down to 2182. Remember, this is on the downside, so this is bouncing now. That would be a dead cat bounce right there. Will it come back to also the high right here, which would make sense, right? It's got support, resistance right here that was flipped. It was support yesterday, and potentially will come support as well. No, I have not talked about Corsair, but I will add on the list, and we have QQQ breaking out now. It's breaking that downward trend line. I set that up earlier. So let's add on Corsair here. Oops, I typed it incorrectly. There we go. All right. So Mara, sort of the Bitcoin sector, somewhat going sideways, maybe potentially gathering steam to surge higher. Also looking at GLD, definitely been watching this. It came back, bounced right here. Is this going to complete the move to the upside, or is this just going to be a setup for potential short to the downside? Still keeping all of that on watch. All of the gold sector overall as well. Silver, I was really bullish on silver, but now it's starting to break down somewhat. So I'm not seeing, it keeps bouncing. It's going sideways. Sideways is choppy. I don't really like that. So I'll wait until it has its move definitively set up on that. All right, so NIO this morning, I traded this pre-market today. I saw it hitting down here and I said, you know what, that is my prime entry, right? This has come down to that upward trend line, usually will bounce right there. So bought it pre-market right here, actually got in at, what did I get in at? 48.85. So not off of the complete bottom down here at 48.55 was where I had it, and then I chased it a little bit by 25 cents, but I thought, you know what, I'm willing to give it 25 cents for the bigger move, and got out at 50.74 and up at 51 when it pulled back up here off of here, 51.45. Lee as well pulling back. So a lot of these electronic cars are all pulling back and they've had a bounce, right? XPEV, same scenario, pulled back and bounced. It bounced off of this area right here. Is this a dead cat bounce? And then we're going to see a further continuation. XPEV, a bit more risk. This could come all the way back down to 51.74. Lee as well. It's pretty extended and it's dropped below that upward trend line. As I said, these really steep trend lines tend to break quickly, and when it breaks, it can break hard. So I would be extra cautious right here, seeing all of this, seeing that it's broken the trend line. This is now the new low that I would move it over to see, are we going to have this continue down further, right? It did break it, and that's not secure to me. It's so overextended. When we look at the regular trend line for it, look, let's even do one from here to here. It could theoretically come all the way back down here, would still be an upward trend, just a slower trend. So seeing these, XPEV, Lee, NIO, I like them as a day trade only. I don't like holding these overnight. Seeing that, it's scary to me. I hope that, you know, I know a lot of friends that were like, oh my goodness, XPEV, Lee, and NIO, I love it. I can't wait to get in. I can't wait to get into these stocks. Like, what's the next one, right? They feel like they're having the fear of missing out. And it can be very tough because what they don't realize is when everybody's talking about them, that's when they start to sell off. My friends yesterday were messaging on Facebook, oh my goodness, look, hey, what about these stocks? They're amazing. Did you get in on them? Yeah, I had some trades on them, but I'm not holding them long term. All right, PLTR. I know a bunch of people have been trading PLTR. I saw it this morning. I personally did not trade it because it was so far extended away and I had my eyes on other things. And looking at this, it's coming up, it's hitting, I would say, yeah, probably 27.50, that round dollar mark up here, plus broke 225, so then another 250. After that, we would likely see $30 if it could break that 250 round number. It is really extended. We had more volume come into it right at that break right here of the former high of the day. So looking at that, will that continue? Let's check on the Qs really quickly. See if we are holding above that trend line, or if it tested it. Yeah, we're still testing it again. So you can see we have sellers once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Are these sellers going to be taken out by the buyers? We are in an upward trend, a little bit of an ascending triangle right there. I'm going to get rid of this and get rid of that overall. Ah, hi Mirjam. We got some pitters over here. So we have a bit of an ascending triangle right here, or an ascending wedge. Will this break out with volume, right? We're going to look for that to have some volume. And interesting that happens to coincide back there. I'll get rid of these. We don't need this, and we don't need this. Just doing some cleanup over here while I'm on the chart. When I have that drawing tool, I tend to leave little dots everywhere. All right, so definitely watching that, watching the tech sector as well. And let's look at Blink. That was the final one on the short list for today. And it had a little bit of a bounce to it, but this one again is also super extended. I considered this one as a trade for potential longer term entry for swing. However, looking at it, it did not come all the way back. So my thoughts are, hey, let it pull back to that lower risk entry, see if it holds. Maybe Friday it'll be better. It's in that downward motion. Doesn't mean that it will stop, but again, the trend over here, when we look at it, we've got this very shallow trade, right? And then we had earnings and it skyrocketed. It could come all the way back down to $8.23 and still be in that upward trend. So keep all of that in mind when you see stuff going parabolic. It could easily come back and hey, maybe I'm going to wait for $8.23 instead of paying $17 more. I'd rather do that and then see it explode. Touched on Amazon yesterday and had this box right here. Someone was like, oh, look at all the pretty colors on Twitter. Guess what? They work. I like it. It works, right? We have this box of consolidation and got in over here. Bought some yesterday, added some more today to my position, and really needed to break out up above here, 31.88. If we break out up here and break above here, my target for Amazon is 4,400. So keep that in mind. If we break from here, that's nice, $1,400 per share potential profit. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. Just looking at the technical analysis of it, looking at targets for swing trades on this name overall. How many times did we bounce off of here? Quite a lot. And we had this box over the past 2 weeks where we had some activity, planting a position likely. How many days do we see Amazon really go sideways? We don't usually see that happen. Maybe a little bit over here, but we don't ever usually really see Amazon go sideways. Yes, Bezos did sell some stock. However, he ended up, it's above there. Hey, Guillermo. ¿Cómo estás? Buenas tardes. Google. For Kyle. Let's check this out. So Google looks like we could potentially see W set up on the daily. Tech stocks are potentially going to break out. This is an area where you want to wait for that confirmation, like with the Qs, where I was showing you guys with the Qs. We're so close. We've had a bunch of selling coming in on that trend line. Is it going to bounce and break above? Wait for the confirmation. Otherwise, it's a perfect short, potentially. I'm not saying go out and short it. I'm not saying go out and buy long. But watch it and see for the opportunity. If we see that this continues and it can break above 1785 with some volume, there's a good chance that we're going to have a bigger move on Google. We know that there was selling pressure pretty much any time it was above 1781. There was selling pressure. Oh, I looked at the SPY earlier, Mirjam, and it looks like we might be heading higher up to, I had a price target up here of 370.59. If we could break out, right? Same thing. We have that W pattern. Good eye. We have that same W pattern on the SPY potentially. The Qs is a bit more of a wedge. So looking to see this one might break out. You know, if we use that breakout, let's say depth, maybe we'll go up to 1825 and test 1825 and then pull back. I know, Kyle, you're probably looking at potential options right now. And you're like, all right, I got to do the math on this. I did, oh, why won't it disappear? Oh, you know why? Because I keep drawing on it. You guys got to tell me that I keep drawing. have lots of dots. All right, we also have PayPal. So PayPal, I am personally in iPay as an online retail space. So iPay, I have been swinging for a while. iPay, let's go over here. iPay holdings. Right here. It'll show us the holdings that are in it. So iPay has Square, FISV, American Express, PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, Global Payments. So it does include PayPal as 5%, Square is 7%, and Square is also breaking out today too. So it's no surprise that iPay, somewhat a little bit more diversified. This is longer term holding for me personally, but looking at PayPal, we are coming up bigger W. You guys see the big W on the daily chart over here? These patterns repeat themselves time and time again. It looks as if it's not able to hold above that 212.50. I would watch 212.50 for that price to hold above at close. If it can hold above, great. If not, look at what happened the last two times. Maybe this will pull back down, come back down to 196, regain some steam, and surge higher. CRM, buying out Workhorse. I don't know why I drew those lines on there, but we've been seeing that it was also in this triangle, right? And came down, tested over here, almost looks like maybe a little diamond, huh? That now we've dropped down below. If we could close and they're able to hold it and close above 254.80, nice potential move to the upside. It would have to break to be really bearish below 244.75 for me. Yes, they're buying out work. Yeah, I have work over here too. So CRM is buying out work. Old levels from my chart back at breakout above 32.60 or down below 31.70. No, I believe that they're buying work, which is Slack Technologies. Yeah. Oh, no worries, Alexander. And then we also have UAL. Somebody wanted to look at UAL. Hey, Beef. How's it going? Did you join me for yoga yesterday? You guys need to join me tomorrow morning, 7:30 for yoga. We'll do a little bit longer class. If you guys are beginners, I wish I could hear. It'd be nice. Maybe I could do a Zoom class. Would you guys like a Zoom class? Maybe I could figure out how to do that. And then put that on. I could bring my laptop down. All right, so we've got United. All of the airline sectors, if United breaks above 49, Benioff, the CEO of CRM, is unstoppable. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's like Elon Musk is a visionary, much like Albert Einstein, right? And Jeff Bezos. I think I'd like to have cocktails and dinner with the two of them. That would be good. Who would you guys like to speak with? VFF is going crazy. All right, we'll look at it. So United, I would look, it's in an upward swing. We have a bit of a rounded bottom over here, right? We have a rounded bottom. I would look for that rim of 59 to be broken. That was not a very good drawing of a line because I went up an extra dollar, but we likely have a move from 45.61 up to 59 and then 59 up here to 54. I personally also like Jets. I am in Jets, have been in Jets for a while, ever since it broke out back down here. And it's hitting my 425. So will we break above this many times will be a resistance. Look, we had extra high volume yesterday. So if we break out above this candlestick, likely buying volume. If we reject that and come back down and fill the gap to the downside, likely selling volume. Also in the airline sector, American Airlines as well. So you can see I got into Jets pretty much when we broke out over here. Because I figured, you know what, American Airlines is the whole sector. Hey, thanks. And American Airlines is in the whole sector. I want to see what the whole sector is going to do. If one is doing well, this one's breaking out, the world's largest, likely the whole sector is going to go up. All right, and Novavax. So Novavax is lower float as well. I think it has something like 35 million in the float, so it tends to have big moves to it. We do have a bounce off of support over here where it bounced off of 83. My dad will be happy to hear that this is moving to the upside. He is a holder of Novavax. And be cautious anytime you see an upgrade for a business, right? So we had this resistance right here. We have a bit of support that we broke out, that W, that this has broken out. You can see that spike in the middle, 102.20. We're above that at 102.70. Potential next area I would look for is up here, up at the 112 area. So likely a nice $10 move potentially before we butt up against resistance. After that, I would look up at the 120 mark and then up to 125 right here. And then if we can break 125, a little test right there at 130 and then up at 137.50. CRSR. I know, yeah, Christy is a huge advocate of the Java Pit and the Training Pit. She is learning all about the dark pools. If you guys, I don't know actually if there's still space, Christy, in the boot camp. There might be, but I think it might be full for this round. The boot camp happens 4 times a year. And you guys can learn all about trading around the dark pool, learn how to trade in general, and it's 70 hours intensive. So that is available at the, whoops, what did I do? Somehow I moved the chat. Very interesting. Here we go, back again. thedarkpools.com. There you go. Yeah, I think it might be full. That's the only thing. But it's always worth asking. You can always, or you can also email Stephanie at thestockwhisperer.com if you're interested in getting in there and say, hey, I learned about it on Jane's live stream and wanted to talk to you more about it. And she will personally call you and set up a time to talk to you. Zoom. Okay, let's look at Zoom. Yep. People can still join the Training Pit for sure, which is awesome, which is at the dark pools. Okay, so Zoom coming up. If you guys know me, this is the 425 EMA. This is my bearer bull hat. It's also over here hitting the 21 EMA. Might come back down to 405. We do have earnings coming up. Volume is slowing down, potentially a reversal right there. So I would look and see the shorter term ones are curling, starting to curl down, and we're hitting up against this resistance here. All right, everything monetizable. Those are the last 2 because I'm going to have to run because I am on Ticker Talkers Roundtable and I need to jump over there. Nice. So JWN, I'm sorry I missed VFF too. Yeah, didn't I pull that up really quickly? CRSR. So CRSR on the daily chart, it's still in that upward trend. However, very steep. Right? A very steep upward trend. It bounced today off of that trend line. So I would look for that trend line. That would be, if I were going into this longer term, I would look for that to hold. If that breaks down, we've got another trend line over here. Oops, I don't want it right there. I want to move it up right there. This might come all the way back down to 29.80 area. All right, let's look at JWN. All right, so JWN coming up, breaking out beautifully. Nordstrom's, let's look at this on a 5-year chart over here. Let's see what's going on. All right, so we did break a resistance point of 25 coming up here, potentially up to 31. I would look for that 31 to really offer resistance as well as 30. We're really close to that round number. So likely 30 and then 31 on the, we have a bit of an inverted head and shoulders here, and it looks like that shoulder area might cause an issue. Last one, SRNE, Sorrento Therapeutics. So Sorrento Therapeutics, we're on the weekly over here. Let's make this a daily. All right, so it looks like it had a nice run up, came back, maybe potential to enter here. Let's throw a quick Fibonacci on here. Yeah, it looks like it really gained some strength back here. If I were to get into this, I would look at 630 as my area for getting out. All right, on the shorter time frame, it's still just curled over, and you might want to have that confirmation up above here, 720 to the upside. All right, guys, I'm going to have to run today because I do have to get ready for my Ticker Tacker Roundtable. I hope you have an amazing Thanksgiving. Please be safe. Please keep your circle small so that nobody ends up sick. The virus is no fun. And boost your immune system with vitamin D, echinacea, honey, superfoods, onions, and garlic, everything like that. And I will see you all. I think I might suspend the live stream on Friday. I'm going to see. It might take a personal day, guys. So don't be surprised if you don't see it live on Friday. And I will see you all on Sunday. Okay? Have an amazing weekend. Amazing Thanksgiving. Please be safe. I don't want to hear of anybody getting sick with COVID. All right? See you all next time I go live.